Attention-sapping smartphones could be driving the UK's productivity crisis. A member of the audience watches on her smartphone as Britain's Prime Minister Theresa May delivers a campaign speech at the Royal United Services Institute in central London, Britain, June 5, 2017. Reuters, Hannah Mackay. London, during a speech last year, Bank of England chief economist Andy Haldane cited Paul Krugman. Productivity isn't everything, but in the long run it is almost everything. Britain's productivity crisis has been a driving force behind the dismal economic growth that has characterized its economy since 2009, and policy wonks are increasingly concerned, with Chancellor Philip Hammond last week announcing billions of pounds of extra investment, more pounds to his National Productivity Investment Fund. But it's difficult to fix a problem for which causes haven't been properly diagnosed. While politicians point to a lack of investment in technology and skills as root causes, a recent Bank of England research paper has a more novel suggestion: smartphones. Dan Nixon, a senior analyst at the Bank of England, says persistently weak growth in productivity over the past decade has coincided with a tenfold rise in global shipments in smartphones. Bank of England. That in itself is no more than proof of a weak correlation, but the question is worth exploring: how might distractions be weighing down on productivity? Nixon writes. The intuition is simple enough: our minds comprise the bulk of our human capital, and what we direct our attention towards is integral to the output of our mental activity. You would therefore expect the ability to pay attention to be a key input into productivity. Nixon contends that distractions at work, including emails, smartphone notifications, or office noise, might cause weaker productivity via two main channels. 1. The direct impact of distractions on the amount of effective time spent working. A recent study by the U.S. Chamber of Commerce Foundation found that workers typically spend 1 hour of their workday browsing social media, rising to 1.8 hours for millennials. The total output lost is greater than those figures, however, because office workers typically take around 25 minutes to recover from interruptions before returning to their original task, Nixon says. Distractions also appear to reduce the quality of work. An influx of emails and phone calls is estimated to reduce workers' IQ by 10 points, equivalent to losing a night's sleep. 2. Persistently lower productivity caused by habitually distracted minds. Nixon's second basic contention here is that frequent distractions might be permanently damaging our ability to work productively, over and above the direct effects. The principal argument for that being the case is habit formation, the idea that our habits are shaped by the way that consumer technologies, such as smartphone apps, are designed to be as addictive as possible. He cites the Oxford Internet Institute's James Williams, who argues that distracted moments can quickly lead to distracted days, and former Google employee Tristan Harris, who argues that smartphone technologies are designed to hijack the mind. Harris offers the example of the bottomless scrolling newsfeed, which is designed to encourage the user to scroll on their phone endlessly on social media apps in case something better appears. The psychological mechanism at play here, intermittent variable rewards, is the same as the one that gets people hooked on slot machines, Nixon says. The second argument for smartphones permanently damaging workforce productivity essentially boils down to multitasking. The more we have different sources of notifications in the workplace competing for our attention, the more we'll constantly scan different channels in an attempt to stay on top of things, Nixon writes. The problem is that this mode of working, termed continuous partial attention, serves to fragment our attention, reducing our focus on the task at hand. In effect, this is a variation on multitasking, which is widely discredited as an effect.